Guys, welcome back to another episode of the Ike MMA podcast. I'm joined in studio with amateur mixed martial arts fighter Jamie McCarthy. McCarthy, I hope I spelled pronounced his surname correctly.
McCaugherty.
But,
Everybody gets it wrong. It's sweet. It's a long old second name.
is it McCarthy?
McCaugherty. It's a
McCaugherty.
modern name. Yeah, yeah.
Okay. Now I will remember McCaugherty.
McCaugherty with T.
McCaugherty. Oh yes, it's got
Yeah.
two C's there. McCaugherty, yes.
Yeah.
Look, man, how you doing? I've seen, not seen, but also heard, and it's been a bit of a big deal. Your debut amateur fight, that knockout for the fight that lasted just 13
Yeah.
seconds. How do you, that's against Josh who is it? Josh Mone.
Yeah, Josh Mone.
Just can you just talk about that a little bit? It's insane.
Well, the week of that fight, I actually talked about this earlier and all interview. The week of that fight, the Monday or the Tuesday, I was getting I can't remember what drill we were doing, but I got picked up in the air and someone tried to do a single leg on me, and because I'm so tall, I stopped it as I was getting dragged down, so the ball of my foot stopped dead on the floor, so my whole leg was like staved, so it was swollen up the whole week of the fight. So the whole week of the fight, I was thinking my leg's gonna buckle here whenever I'm fighting, so I was freaking out the whole week of the fight, and then I ended up just running in and kicking him in the head with the same leg, so it worked out pretty well for me. But
Look,
yeah, it was unreal. It was a cracker experience.
now that is really good because I mean, fine, it's amateur, but for the fact that you actually managed to put such a superb, unexpected finish in such a short space of time, that kind of puts a lot of attention and eyes on your name. That you are a force to be reckoned with. I mean, after after that fight, I mean, did things change? I mean, did people, I think, kind of take it more seriously? Did they kind of like, let me say, when they were around you, like all the naysayers and haters, were they like kind of like giving you death stares? People's
A
attitude
wee
towards
bit,
you
I
was it
sort
different?
a wee bit, yeah, not completely different. Like, I'm nowhere near. Well, like that's only my first fight, so we're not coming to it like a wee tiny bit. Like, yeah, so no more responsibilities and stuff now. There's probably people looking up to me and stuff like that. But apart from that, no, nothing's really changed. I'll take it. But yeah, apart from that, nah, not really.
Look, it's the first time me speaking to you, and I always like to get a bit of background history on any fighter that I'm speaking with. Um,
Yeah.
for you yourself, as in, can you just give me a bit of what your backstory and just how you kind of progressed and what enticed you, what inspired you to get involved in combat sports, and then from there, mixed martial arts?
Well, I did. Whenever I was in school, oh, about 10 years ago, maybe. I was always thinking I was getting bullied and stuff in school, so I tried to do MMA years ago, about 7 or 8 years ago, and I couldn't take the leg kicks and stuff like that. So I did it for about a month, if even, under Mickey Doyle, and then just couldn't do it no more. So just stopped for ages, and then from the time I stopped, I just started taking drugs and drinking for about every day for from I was about 16 till I was about 19, 20, and then
Wow.
eventually I ended up going to Door, meeting Door, Toma, my coach, and then started doing strength and conditioning classes with him and improved real fast. So put me in I asked him to put me into the MMA classes. So we went into the MMA classes there about a year and a half ish ago. And as soon as I started training, I knew that's what I wanted to do straight away. As soon as I started training, then uh, was what you always watched UFC. So whenever I was watching the UFC, I was always giving me a real good buzz. And then I think it was Juliana Pena fighting Amanda Nunes. Whenever she won the belt, I could literally just close my eyes and picture myself doing that and win the belt. So from then I knew I was gonna. That's what I was gonna do.
Mm.
Pretty much.
So would you say those were the figures, that the big names in the sports of mixed martial arts? Would you say it was those guys who inspired you to, they inspired the passion, the drive in you to actually pursue this and take it, pursue this long
Yeah,
haul wise?
that as well. And then whenever I started seeing the results I knew I was gonna stick at it as well because I've never been good at anything else apart from this in my whole life. So once I started seeing I was good at this, I knew I was gonna stick at it, and I do it every day, all day. That's all I think about too.
You find it very therapeutic, the kicks, the punches, and just if you had
Big
a bad
time.
day. I feel the
Yeah,
same way when I've just had one time that I did, especially starting in the pandemic. It feels like after just one session, you feel like a weight's just lift off your shoulder. You have to vent out that frustration if you had like a
yeah,
shitty day.
big
Um,
time. Sporting's especially good for that.
oh yeah, it's not definitely everybody should do that. Really, I always think that to myself. Everybody should do. They find probably people be far more respectfully of each other in
Yeah,
public. Um, what I was gonna ask again. No, although you're still very young, I mean you just started. Is it that you'd like to stay in the amateur scene for some time? Isn't stay in the amateur scene for some time, but I didn't. Is it how many fights? After how many fights do you think you feel you have to get under your belt before you'd like to go pro? If that's something you want to do.
well, say if the next 10 go the way that last one went, I'd say I'll just go pro, probably. So
Nice.
next, if the next 10 go like out there, then I'll probably just go pro. But if not, I want to get as much belts as I can for amateur.
Yes.
But
I get
as fast as I can, pretty much. So if I do knock these people out, then boom,
well,
go
so you,
pro.
you want to stay very, very active, of course.
Yeah, yeah. It's all I do. That's literally all I do. I have no job apart from this here. It's all I do all day.
And if I was to just take this further, in terms of your plans and when you get into the professional scene, which of the big names would you like to be fighting, in or on their stage or in their cage? I mean, there's the obvious one, the UFC, but I mean, there's the other names, there's the Cage Warriors,
Cage
there's the
Warriors,
PFL.
Bellator, Cage
Mhm.
Warriors, Bellator, PFL. There's loads. Any. Hopefully as fast as possible too. I want to get there as fast as possible.
I mean, you do follow the MMA, the mixed martial arts news just worldwide. And I'm sure you would have seen one of the big hot topics, especially where the UFC is concerned, is fighter pay. Even up until now, it's something that the UFC has been kind of digging their heels in. Unless if you're one of the golden boys like Conor McGregor or John Jones, then we will kind of give you that kind of special treatment. We'll pay you whatever you like and kind of give you that special sorts of conditions. Um,
Yeah.
for you, is it more of where you can actually really shine and showcase your talent to a bigger audience, or is it the salary that really entices you? Which one would you say comes first for you?
Both. The other one doesn't come before the other right now. Whenever it could change, but one doesn't come before the other right now because I love the buzz of the crowd and the people I have behind me now. I love proving all of them right for being there and believing in me. So I like that there. But yeah, obviously money. I want money too. Like I'm doing it for the money as well. I want to be living comfortably. I want a nice life.
Yes, yeah, no, of course, for what the fighter goes through, all the fight camp, making weights, the training, restriction of calories and everything, then having to go out there on the public stage and having to compete and win. Yeah, of course, you want a really good financial reward and compensation for that. Um, for you, as a very, very young fighter, fight camp itself, what would you say has been the most challenging, the toughest part of the fight camp, as in what the kind of effects, again, always getting tongue twisted, the kind of effects it's had on your body physically and even mentally?
Running, frig's sake, running. I hate running.
Really?
I absolutely hate it. Yeah, I hate running. Like I despise running. But I do it anyway. But I hate doing it. Like it's the worst thing for me. It's the worst thing. I just don't like doing it. Like spores of life, man.
I mean, could I say well, I can kind of say, I mean, in mixed martial arts, you've got to be able to maintain that stamina for as long as you can to win the fight, or at least to see the fight through to the very, very bitter end. So
Yeah,
you've got to kind of maintain those high energy levels.
everything else I'm alright at. So it's let you just and I don't mind doing everything else. It's only running is the only thing.
How about the
Everything
weight
else
cuts?
I'm fine. Oh, perfect. A lot. I could probably go up 3 weight classes, and I could probably go down 2.
I
From
see.
what I might be able to go down 3. You know, so
Okay.
it's piss easy for me going down and up.
What would you say the fight scene in Ireland is like? I mean, when I ask about the just to give a sense of where I'm coming from, what I mean is that even on the amateur scene where you've got some really good entertaining fights, the fighters and even the promoters don't get the sort of deserve recognition for hosting a really entertaining event and for having fighters who are very talented who can fight well, not just win the fight but also entertain the audience. I don't feel that at least here in the UK, that the media do give those talented fighters and those promoters that well-deserved recognition, if you know what I mean.
Yeah. Well, there's so many now, which is probably why there's so many. It's rising so much. There's so many people coming in and trying to do it. There is. You're right. You're right. I've been to all near enough every show. Now they're all unreal. I was at
Mm.
Virtus the other day. It was unreal, and Ike Mma as well. And the level of the fights are unreal, and some of the knockouts are unreal. There was a fella from Fight Academy Ireland done a spinning heel kick or something the other night, and oh my,
Mm.
there's ridiculous shows not getting enough coverage, big time.
So I may have missed it in social media on the Instagram live feeds or the reels. But when are you fighting next? Is the date?
October 1st, Clan Wars 48.
Okay, where you had your debut.
Yeah, it's been the same
Nice.
place, so comfortable fighting there.
Okay, any news on who the opponent's going to be?
Yeah, his name's Kane Mulligan from Sanda, but he's supposed to have 2 fights there, and
I
I've went to them
see.
both, and he hasn't showed up, or he hasn't not showed up. He's dropped out, so I'm hoping he doesn't drop out of mine.
Okay, good. I look forward to that. I mean, especially if your debut fight went the way that it did, then definitely you are someone for people to watch out for, to keep their eyes peeled for.
Yeah,
Last but not least, any shout outs you'd like to give, any sponsors, family, friends, or any affiliates?
yeah. All my sponsors: Heritage Barbers, Prospect, MMA Podcast, Silverwood Motors, Lean Supper Club, Athena Sport. I think that's them all. I probably forgot one there, and I'm gonna get chewed for it, but we'll see what
No,
happens.
definitely look, you're still very young, and as you're going through your career, definitely you will be acquiring more sponsors, and that list of shout outs is only going to get longer and longer and longer and longer.
Yeah.
But Jamie, thank you so much for coming on. Thank you.
Thanks very much.
Appreciate it. Please send me the list of those people that you mentioned, and I will tag them in the stories and in the Instagram post as well.
No problem. Thanks very much.
Thank you so much. Take care.
All right.